What's up, guys, and thanks for joining me on another episode of Twisted Wrench Garage. This week we're actually going to be working on Ramona here. Been kind of debating in the old noggin here about what I've been wanting to do with this truck, you know, when it comes to like body wise. And well, I think I've come to a decision that I think I want to go ahead and remove all of this trim off the side of the truck. It's going to be a process. You know, there are some things that we're going to have to tackle when it comes to pulling all that off, and some of that you guys might be able to see from this spot here. Now this spot here is where a piece of trim that I was missing was, you know, obviously missing because you can tell because of the way it is. But as you guys can tell behind there's also holes. So you got holes, and then you got these little tags that are sticking out from the side of the truck that are gonna have to be ground off, and then we'll have to smooth out. We'll have to fill in these holes. And as you guys can tell down at the bottom, there's a lot of rock chips in the bottom end of this truck, and that's something we're gonna have to deal with too. But here's the thing, guys, there's a point at which you're gonna be messing with this kind of stuff where, you know, when it comes to a, you know, how far do I go standpoint, that's where I'm having trouble. Because yeah, we could go through the process of sanding down the whole truck and repainting the entire truck, but I mean, I really can't afford to do that right now. But I still want to get some stuff done, so I think I'm gonna try to focus on just this bottom portion from, you know, that body line down, and we'll see what happens. Again, I'm not trying to make the truck perfect. I'm just trying to make it look better for now, and then whenever I can finally paint the entire truck, I can. Do I know, you know, everything about everything when it comes to this bodywork stuff? No. I am not a professional. Don't take this video as me going, hey, this is how you guys should do this. No, this is actually just going to be for kind of entertainment purposes, guys. You know, this is my truck. This isn't something I planned on getting rid of anytime soon. So anything you guys are going to be seeing me do, it's going to be a me problem. You know, I'll have to deal with it later on in the future. Big whoop. Oh, it's fine. But you know, the first step when it comes to pulling all this trim off is first pulling off the trim. And some of these pieces can kind of be a pain in the butt to get off. Luckily, I'm happy that I don't have that top trim going across the top, so I don't have to worry about pulling any of that. And I'm going to show you guys a couple of the reasons why I want to pull it off. All right, when it comes to the trim, you're going to need a few tools, a couple Phillips head screwdrivers, a short and long one. And this is just the method that I have found that works for me when it comes to pulling this trim off. I don't know if it's right, but it works. So what I have found, and I don't know if this is going to work, you know, with me showing you on camera, is if you push down and pull out on the bottom, you can kind of get in there. I mean, I'm not too worried about the clips, but you can tell it's got these little fins on the top. So it's okay, so it's push up. Okay, I gotta remember, it's been a while since I've tried pulling them off, but when it comes to like this here, we're gonna take Phillips and we're just gonna strip them out so they'll never come off. Now some of these pieces of trim, like on the body, are gonna have, there's actually some more steps you're gonna have to do to get those off, and I'll show you when we get to that point. But I mean, majority of this trim is pretty easy to pull off. And like I said, I've thought about keeping the trim on the truck. I really did, because I do like the way it looks. But I'll show you guys why I want to pull it off, cut off these little tabs, fill up these holes, and smooth this all out. I just think it's gonna look a lot better, for one, and it'll help get rid of some of the problems that this trim can cause. I'm hoping once I get this wheel arch trim off, I can get an inspection underneath it, and hopefully there's no damage. One more screw, and this will be ready to come off. And at least this side of the bed is done. Still got the cab and that front fender to take care of. But with all those screws removed, we can pull that off. You guys can tell. It holds some dirt and stuff, guys. And it's one of the main reasons why I'm getting rid of it. So don't get me wrong, that right there looks really good. I like the way it looks, but when you get up underneath it though, you can see all the dirt and grime and stuff that trim holds back there. And if you don't clean it out real well, that stuff can cause problems in the future. And that's one of the things I'm trying to alleviate, you know, trying to get away from. Trying to get away from having any kind of rot or anything in the body of this truck, because this truck is relatively rust free. I mean, other than the roof, has a little bit of surface rust and a pinhole. Yeesh. That's something I'm gonna deal with in the future, but I can't do it right now. But we can start pulling all this trim off, start working on that. So let's get down here, let's get the rest of this trim off of the body of the truck and off this front fender, and we'll keep this process going. When it comes to this piece of trim, guys, this one is actually held in with, I think there's a little metal clip here, I think, or right here. I can't really be for sure. But back behind here, there's gonna be 2 3/8 nuts. Let me show you guys where those are back here. Get a flashlight going. All right, right down in there, those 2 nuts, they're 3/8. You need to pull those off before this piece of trim is gonna come off. There's also gonna be 2 right on the inside of the door, right here, that need to be pulled off as well. All right, let's see if I can get these off of there. There's one. They aren't gonna be very tight. And as you can tell, it just kind of fell off. And then what I'm doing, guys, I'm just taking like pieces like this that have these little pieces of hardware on them. I'm just putting them right back on because I'm not going to get rid of this stuff. I do have a full trim kit for this truck. I could put it all back on, but I'm not going to. I'm just gonna hold on to it in case in the future where I'm older and I'm like, it'd be nice to have my trim back. I could put it back on with like 3M body trim tape. Who knows? But right now I want to smoothen this all up. So let's finish this up. These 2 here. Come out of there. There we go. Set those aside for now. Gotta close this door, see if we can get this trim off here. Maybe. There's like little wings on the bottom of it. So it's like, I feel like if you push up and pull it out, you can get it off the top little tang. But that's easier said than done, really. But I'm just gonna break them all, really. You can buy these clips new off of Amazon, I believe. And I'll show you how we pull those off in the next step. This one should just be the same thing. I'm gonna push up, pull up, pull towards me, then slide down. Got to pull off more Phillips head screws for here, and there's going to be 2 Phillips heads here holding this in, but we're also going to need to pull out that marker light. 1/2-inch socket, and there's 2 little nuts down here on the back of this lens right here. Oh, it's gonna have to be a deep socket. Half-inch socket. Down on it. There's 2 nuts on this marker light down here. Mine only has 1 because one's busted off. But once you get it loose, it should come the rest of the way off by hand, I want to say. Alright. Pop my light out. And there's our trim. And all. The front of it doesn't actually use any clips. And I went ahead and pulled off that other wheel arch. So this side's stripped. All we got to do is pull off the little plastic clips. Let me show you guys how those come off. All right, these little clips are actually pretty easy to pull off. I'm just going to take just a little 1/4-inch extension, just something that I can tap on. I'm going to tap it to the left, and it's going to pull out from the body. Then you can take and you can tap it down, and it'll pop right off. Pretty easy. Over, out, down. Over, out, down. Now you just got to do that the rest of this body. Then once you've got all those clips off, you're left with a handful of clips in your hand and no trim down the entire truck. Like I said, you can tell all the garbage and stuff that stuff holds behind it. Yeah, it can definitely do some damage. I just got a dish soap and a water in this spray bottle. I'm just going to go through and wipe down all these areas that were underneath this trim. Try to get all this debris off of here for now, so we can start working on the next step. But we want this to be clean before we start doing all that. Let's see what we're working with here. So much gunk behind this stuff, it's ridiculous. Move on down the truck and we'll get this all wiped off. Holy cow, look at all that. Yeah, you can tell there was a lot of gunk on that. Just underneath the trim. There we go. All wiped down, and shoot, in the camera you can barely even tell it was there. Except for all the dimples and holes and And here's one of the reasons why I went ahead and decided to go this route, because you know the fender I found didn't have the trim on it on front or back. It doesn't have the holes or the little dimples or nothing. So I went ahead and caught this side up, wiped it down, and as you can tell, I've been kind of experimenting a little bit. I've got all of the little tabs off from here back. There was a little body damage back here. I did do a little hammering here. Came out okay. It's gonna need filled. Am I gonna be able to get it perfect? No. But I mean, there was a big old gash, 2 gashes, where you can see where it started from here, and it actually went all the way down to here. So this still needs more sanding to feather all this out, so I can actually, you know, put some filler over the spots where the little divots were. If I can remember where these ones were, but we'll get there. There was one there, and there was one there. There was one there, one there, and then there's one there and one there, I think. But let me show you what we're doing to get all these little dimples off that hold that body trim, those little plastic pieces on. Let me show you what we're doing to pull those off. Before we get started here, I wanted to show you guys might be able to tell, this door has actually been painted before on this passenger side. So I'll be curious to see what we find underneath there when we start sanding. All right, guys, so what I've got here is I've got a 36 grit flat disc. It's a 4.5. I just mounted on my angle grinder. I did a little experimenting on that back half. I was using a cutoff wheel and then coming back with this. There was no need. I was just doing an extra step for no reason. So these should come off fairly easy. Let me show you what I'm doing. And just like that, we've got one of them gone. I just got to go through the rest of the truck and pull the rest of these off, and then we can start sanding all this down. This is just going to take me some time, so I'll set you guys up on a time lapse. And again, guys, do I know what I'm doing? I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it anyways because it's a learning experience. I'm not going to learn unless I try. So I'll get you guys on a time lapse. We'll get this going. Just like that, all those little tabs that stick out from the body are gone from both sides. Now we just have to sand it all down, feather it all out, and make it look like that so we can actually do something with it. What's up, guys? It's about a week and a half maybe since the last time you guys saw me. I mean, you guys saw me, seconds ago, but the last time I was out here working on the red truck was about a week and a half ago. Been really busy. You guys can tell right here. Made some changes in the garage. I was able to make some trades for a new toolbox. And so what I did was I took the US General box that I had and I took the toolbox off of it and I mounted it to the top of this toolbox to combine them and make myself a lot more room. I still have the cart from the bottom of that box there. I'm gonna try to turn it into some sort of like table or something, work table that I can work off of, roll over around the cars and stuff. But the red one, if you guys remember my old red one, I ended up actually giving that one to my son, passing it down because it was passed down to me from my dad. After my dad passed away, I took over it, and so I'm gonna pass it down to him. So now he has his own toolbox. He can start setting up. He's got one of those like little handheld like kits that has like a whole bunch of tools in it already, and it's already like pretty organized and all that kind of stuff. But that one is for like to go, and then this one he can actually set up for at home use and those kind of things. But I did want to come out here and start sanding on this truck again. It's the same as before. I mean, you guys can tell we've got all those little tabs off of this side. I went ahead and did sand on that passenger side some. I'll show you guys that. Just kind of messing with it, just trying to, get it all looking okay, I guess. I mean, again, I'm not a professional. This isn't a tutorial on how to do this. I'm just doing it with what I have and to the best of my knowledge. I did go to auto body school for a couple of years, but I mean, that was so long ago, I couldn't even tell you any specifics from it, let alone the fact that the auto body themselves, like the industry has probably changed significantly. So products have changed, all kinds of stuff. So I don't know jack diddly, but I mean, I can't afford a body shop, so we're gonna get to work on trying to get this all lined out. So ain't nothing left to do but to get to work. So let's get in here and start sanding this down, getting it ready to go. All right, so I went ahead and I went back up to Harbor Freight. I picked up some 150. I'm gonna hit it with 150 first because it'll just go a little bit quicker with this. It was taking a little bit of time with that, and got myself some disposable masks just to help, because I mean really shouldn't be breathing this stuff in. So let's get to work. All right, took a little break, let the sander cool down a little bit. I just wanted to show you guys what I was going for here. So, looking to feather this stuff out where you can see layers. So like up here, let me wipe this off with my hand. And as you guys could tell, I was running my hand across this just kind of as I was going. I was taking a lot of material off because there's a lot of chips and stuff in this. And like even up to here, there's a chip up here, but I'm not really wanting to go past this body line. So as you can tell, I've got the clear coat, then I've got the color, then I've got the primer, filler primer, and then there's another primer below that, it looks like. So I'm just kind of feathering it out, making sure that it's smoothing up, because in these areas where those little tabs came off, I need to take and put a little bit of Bondo in there, just a little glob going over each of those little spots. And over these holes, I'm actually going to need to mix up some fiberglass filler, and that's how I'm going to fill up these holes, because my welder is not set up for welding this kind of stuff. And I mean, I don't really want to try testing it out on the actual cab of the truck, because I mean, I'm still learning here. This is just me kind of figuring this out. I'm just kind of remembering some of what I was taught, but that fiberglass filler will do just fine on this. The reinforced fiberglass filler, you guys saw me do it on the floor of the black pearl, just to fill up some pinholes and those kind of things in the floor and just kind of strengthen it up. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to be filling up all these holes with that stuff. I just wanted to get this stuff down to bare metal on this side, and I'll need to do the same thing on the other side, as well as clean out the inside of this hole with, you know, a wire brush or something that I can fit in there, get that as clean as I can. That way I can goop that stuff in there, get it on the back side if I have to, just for some strength. But you want that stuff to stick to metal from my understanding. But that's what it's for. So we're making some progress. Got quite a bit done so far. We're just gonna keep going. We just gotta go up to the front of that fender. Up there, or the back of the fender, sorry. The front of the fender I don't have to touch. So we're gonna go up to that point. So ain't nothing to it but to do it. Got this side all done. Sand it down. I feel like it's pretty good to go for a layer of body filler on just those, you know, spots where those little tabs are sticking out. I still need to get this back bumper pulled off, and I'm probably gonna hold off on it because my hands are kind of right now shaky from that sander. But you know, we got the hole all the way around. Like I said, I do need to get this rear bumper pulled off because you guys can tell, I mean, there is some damage there, and I'll have to get in there to get that taken care of if I want, you know, it to be better-ish. I don't know. See, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, you go into real fine detail on some of these things, and it's like, yeah, it could use a complete paint job. Yeah, I know that, but I mean, I don't really want to sand the whole truck down. You guys can see, you got this side fully sanded down as well. I went ahead and hit the bottom of this fender as well, just to get rid of the rock chips. That other side, that driver's side, was bad when it comes to rock chips. And I did go ahead and hit up this area, this fender right here. It's gonna need some filler put in it because I've already gone through and hammered and dollied it best of my ability, and I think it'll be all right once I get a little thin layer of body filler on there. It'll look good enough. So right now, what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna go ahead and get some of this wax and grease remover. You guys have seen me use this before. I've already gone through and wiped down all of the truck once. You guys can see some of the stuff that I'm pulling up off of it. I'm gonna give it one more good wipe down all the way around, and I'll go ahead and mix up some body filler, and I think we'll go ahead and start throwing some body filler on here, and I think that is where we're gonna call it for today. It's a lot of work getting all of just, I mean, that was just this part right here. Holy cow. Whew. All right, like I said, just taking some wax and grease remover on a rag here. We're just gonna wipe down our area. We want to get it as clean as we can for our filler. That way it can get a good, nice set on it. Oh. Yeah, see, you can see some of the stuff I'm pulling up off of it. I just want to try to get all that off of there. And it might take 2 or 3 wipes to get all this off. But we want a nice clean surface for our stuff to get adhered to. Pulled a lot off the first time. Now we're pulling off a little bit less this time. Yeah, this side over here, man, I tell you what. The cab and I think this side of the bed has all been repainted before. You can see the layers. Metal, primer, filler primer, paint, clear, paint, clear. Yeah, it's been done a couple times, I think. All right, gonna let that dry. Like I said, I'm gonna let that dry, see how it looks at, you know, And then I'll start getting some filler mixed up so we can start getting some spot filler on here. Alright, so the filler I'm going to be using is going to be this Evercoat Body Shop Pro-Grade Color Changing Filter, or filler. I was going to get some of the U-Pole that Riley's had, but apparently people keep going in and just stealing the hardeners off of the fillers. What the heck? But I'm going to mix up a little bit here, see if I can get some applied onto this this old truck here, just on an old piece of cardboard. This stuff's supposedly supposed to mix purple and then dry green when it's ready to be, you know, sanded and fully cured. So I'm gonna give this a decent mix up here with my paint mixer here. Don't ever want to put the hardener right in the can. You want to pull out, you know, just a little bit at a time and use what you need. But I want to make sure this is nice and stirred, because I don't know how long it's been sitting on that shelf. So I want to make sure all the chemicals in it are mixed properly. Looks like a really thick ice cream. Alright, so let's get some out here. We'll mix some up for what we got going on here. I don't exactly know how much I'm going to need, but I don't want to mix up too much. So I think I'm just going to call it right there, and we'll see what it takes. I'll try to get as much of this off of this screwdriver as I can. Oh, I forgot to get my putty knife out, or my putty spreader, or whatever you want to call them. Body filler spreader. Here we go. Got our little spreader there. And I'm just gonna do just a little line like that. And then we're gonna start mixing this up. Folding it as we go. We want to get it nice and mixed up. It doesn't really look like it's very purple. I guess maybe it's a light purple. But what I'm doing here is I'm just, you know, folding it on itself. It'd be nice if I wasn't getting it on me. Alright, I feel like that's probably good enough. That doesn't look purple to me, but I'm gonna roll with it. See if I can get all this off here. Alright, let's go apply this. Alright, gotta kind of work a little fast here, because this stuff's gonna want to start setting up. Like I said, I'm not trying to put a whole bunch on here, guys. I just want to put a little layer over all the areas that had those on it. Not trying to put it on super thick. Yeah, I think I put a little too much hardener in it. I won't put so much in it next time. I'm gonna have to work fast. Hopefully I didn't put so much in it that it cracks out. Yep, starting to thicken up on me. See if I can use the last bit of this to. Got a big, pretty good sized dent down here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make up more. But that's the process that we're going to be going through, putting this on the whole side of the truck. So let me get that knocked out, and I'll bring you guys back after I get this all filled in. All right, as you guys can tell, I've got filler over all those little spots. I still have to address the little holes, which I think we're going to do later on, but at least we've got this first go around of filler going. This stuff can cure up and we can get it ready to start sanding. Got all over these areas here. Did also fill a spot down here at the base of this cab right there. There's a pretty good gash in the cab there, so I went ahead and threw some filler on it. And then back here on this back quarter, this back quarter was pretty rough, so I threw an actual decent coat from where you can tell there, because like I said before, there were two gashes going all the way down this side, and you can still see right there where they still are a little apparent. So I'm gonna have to get that bumper off and start sanding that back there to get that taken care of, because I can't get a hammer and dolly back in there behind that. I got it as far as I could, but over there in that corner I just can't get that. But we got filler all throughout this entire side, and then threw some filler over here on this front fender as well. I think I didn't put near as much hardener in this, so it's probably gonna take some time for this to get fully cured. Hopefully it'll be okay. What's up, guys? It's another day here on Twisted Wrench Garage, where we're working on trying to get this trim off of this red truck here. Yesterday you guys saw me go through and finish sanding and getting some filler added to, all the little spots where you pulled those little tabs off. That's all fully cured up and it's ready to be sanded now. Now I think I'm gonna, instead of just starting to sand on that, I'm gonna hold off on that, and I'm gonna start getting these holes filled. So what I've gone ahead and done is I've taken just a little round file, and I've just been going through and I've been cleaning up those holes all along this body line, and I'll show you the process here on this one here. But yeah, all I'm doing here is I'm just taking this little file here, and I'm just trying to get the rest of this red paint out of the hole. And just a little bit of file work will get us taken care of. There's another piece of metal back there, right there. We're gonna get that one as best we can. I've already done all the other ones. All the other ones are real good. So, just wanted to show you this process. But as you guys can tell, that stuff did dry like a greenish color. And I am gonna end up having to put more down on this section down here, because that gash was pretty deep and you can still see it's pretty low right in there. So when I go to sand all this down, I'll have to hit that again with some more, and then we'll probably end up having to put more down the side of this, just kind of depending on how it looks after we get it primed. Once it's all one solid color, see what it looks like. But yeah, that should be good enough for that. So let's get a little bit of some fiberglass reinforced filler mixed up, and let's get this hole patched up along with all the rest. As you guys can tell, the Ram emblem fell off on this side whenever I was sanding this side down yesterday. I was actually contemplating whether or not I wanted to delete these emblems altogether and fill those holes, but I'm kind of leaning more towards just going ahead and putting them back on there. But that might be something I'll take care of in the future. You can see where it fell off over there. But yeah, let's get this knocked out so we can call this video quits, because I feel like this video is probably dragging on a little bit. This time we're going to be using this fiberglass, short strand fiberglass reinforced Bondo filler. You guys have seen me use it before. I used it on the floor of the Black Pearl to fill up some pinholes. I mean, it's what it's meant for. It's meant for filling holes, those kind of things in fiberglass, wood, metal, all kinds of stuff. Got a new little piece of cardboard here we can use as a little thing. So just gonna get a little bit out of here. I'm not gonna mix a whole lot because I have gone ahead and done some of these already. Really just showing you this one because I wanted to show you guys how I was doing it. And again, I'm not saying that this is what you guys should do. Don't take this as that, because this is just what I'm doing. I'm sure Pole Barn Garage would be proud of me. Need to be cool to get in touch with him at some point and do some sort of video thing. But he's a busy guy. But I'm just gonna put just a little bit of there, and we're gonna mix this up and we're gonna fill that hole. I'm just gonna glob it in the hole and should be good enough. Yeah, there will be some that'll be poking through the other side. And there will be one area that I can show you on that, you know, you'll be able to see it. I'm not worried about it. But the rest of them you shouldn't be able to see. But we're just trying to get an even mix on this, folding it. Make sure it's a nice uniform color. Should go from the lighter bluish green to the darker blue green. So this is mixed and it's ready to go on that panel. So let's get over there and I got something in my finger. Let's get over there and get it filled. All right, let's take just a little dollop of this here and I'm just gonna dab for the moment. Just kind of want to get, there we go. I just want to get it to where it just kind of sticks to itself. And I'm not worried about it being super thick in that spot. I actually noticed while I was doing the other ones that if I let this stuff cure up just a little bit before I applied it, it actually went on a lot easier. And that wasn't too bad. I actually just kind of let it just kind of cure up just probably 2 or 3 minutes, and then I started to apply it. So that's probably gonna be my best trick to you guys when doing this, if you're gonna copy me, which I wouldn't suggest you copy me, but you can if you want. So we'll let that fully cure up, and then we can start sanding her down. It'll probably need another coat of body filler over this after we sand that, but I think that's going to be in a future video. So let's get our tools all cleaned up and stuff, and let's get this video finished. And just like that, we've removed all of the trim, all of the tabs, body filled over the ground down tabs, and filled those holes. It doesn't look better right now, but hopefully it'll look better after we're done. Just gotta let this all cure up, and we'll get back into this, sanding this stuff down and priming it, and the list continues and continues. So, but I mean, this is one step of that process done. Well, guys, I think that's where we're gonna call this particular video. We got some stuff done, that's for sure. This is definitely gonna be a multi-part process because I'm not gonna be able to get it knocked out in one video. I don't have that kind of ability. But I think once we get this all done and knocked out, I think it's going to look really good. Once it's all back to one color, no trim, I think it'll be all right. You know, what do you guys think about that, about those emblems? I'm not real sure about whether or not I want to delete them or not. I really wanted to keep this part of the body, you know, work from that body line down. I didn't really want to go from there up. I mean, eventually I'm gonna have to do that roof because it's, you know, it's surface rusted and that hood's gonna need attention. I mean, the whole truck needs attention, but I wasn't trying to do the entire thing right now. I just don't have that ability right yet. I mean, maybe in the future, hopefully. But again, you know, we got the tabs and trim all pulled off, all the spots where we ground them down filled. We got all the holes filled in with that reinforced fiberglass filler. I still think I'm gonna pull off that back bumper here at some point, and I'm probably gonna just address that. I'll probably do that off camera, not a big deal. It's gonna be the same thing I'm doing here, but I'm not gonna have to fill any holes or anything like that. I do have to fill up those 2 gashes on that other side. But oh, I did want to show you guys where I was talking about. Just the only spot that you're gonna be able to see, there's 2, where you're gonna be able to see this fiberglass filler, and I can go back and grind it back down afterwards. And that's gonna be right on the inside of this door, right where that trim bolted, and right on the back of the cab where it bolted there. So there's gonna be a little bit of that fiberglass filler poking through. You can see it right there. But that'll be fine. That'll be fine. We'll get it ground down. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. When the door's shut, you ain't gonna be able to see it anyways. But again, I do appreciate you guys hanging out with me in the garage while I fiddled with my truck. Got some progress done on it. Got the new toolbox and such. Got a lot done this week. Really feel like I got a lot of stuff done. Well, it's really been a week and a half, really. But I do appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys on the next episode.